Hey guys, it's Sarah. Driving home from work. My face probably looks terrible because my makeup has been on for the last like 10-ish hours and I've just been at work for like 9. But anyways, what was I even gonna tell you guys? Hopefully this is a successful drive home. Hopefully there's not too much like road rage because people are like trying today and it's just like, what are you doing? I don't understand. If we could just learn how to drive, that would be great. Anywho, the main thing was I had my HSG last week, so it's been a full week since I had the procedure done, and I was extremely nervous going into it. Terrified. I wasn't supposed to eat or drink at least 3 hours before the procedure. So my procedure was at like 9, so that meant like 6 o'clock. So it kind of sucked because I had gone to work from like 4:30 to 8:30 in the morning, and so it just kind of sucked not being able to drink after 6 because I'm normally like trying to drink water because it's like a more physical day for me at work. But so then my husband picked me up and took me there and dropped me off. I forgot to bring my referral from my doctor, and he forgot to grab my referral from the doctor. So he had to go home, and he actually ended up just sending me like a picture of it, which worked. So that was cool. I got all checked in and everything, and I was told that I needed a driver because I was going to be sedated, but I actually ended up not getting sedated, which is like awesome and 100% fine by me because I'm just like really scared of like that. I've only been put out like one time, and that's when I had a colonoscopy, and I had my wisdom teeth taken out, but I just got gas for that, so it's not like I was put under with like anesthesia or anything like that. But yeah, I like got prepped, put on like my gown and everything. I went into like the room, and the very nice tech that was working, and her like medical like student that was there, just kind of gave me the lowdown on what was going to be happening. They said that I was going to be there for 2 hours, but I think that's because they assumed I was getting sedated, but the tech never said anything about it, and I didn't get sedated. Apparently the doctor, she knew that the doctor had this trick, and like he walked in and said like, oh, like, have you ever had this before? He asked me if I had my ovaries and my tubes, and I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, great. He was like, I have a trick. He said, I'm gonna be in and out, it'll be a breeze, no big deal. And literally it was a breeze, it was no big deal. So that was awesome. I'm not gonna get like too into it because it's like kind of like it could get pretty graphic, and I'm not trying to like overshare anything, but just know that it really wasn't that bad. There was a balloon catheter, but it really wasn't that bad. His little trick was to not have it go all the way up into the cervix. I guess like the cervix needs to be like relaxed in order to move it at all, and you can only do that like during birth or like if you're sedated. But his trick worked just fine. I got the contrast. He had me lean to one side, and I watched the contrast flow into one tube, and then he had me lean to the other side, and then I saw it flow into the other tube. I haven't gotten the results or anything yet, because my follow-up appointment isn't until not next week but the week after, so a little less than 2 weeks until I have like my follow-up, and I'll get all the results from all my infertility tests that I've been having, which will be great. I have seen them online because my like doctor thing has a thing called Blue Button, and you can see all your test results, but it's deciphering the results that it's like I don't really know, and I've looked at most of them, but it's just like I don't really know what that means. So I'm just ready for the doctor to explain and to get like our family plan going and everything. it'll be so exciting. But if you have an HSG coming up, or if that's something that you might need like in the future, it's really not a big deal. I did have some, I was fine. Like I was only there until 10 o'clock, so I was only there for an hour. And the lady said I was good to go. She said I didn't need my driver. And so luckily this place was like right across the street from where I work. So instead of having my husband leave work and like come back and get me to take me to my car that was across the street, or bring me back later in the day and all that kind of stuff, I just drove home. And I was completely fine. And then about an hour or so after I got home, I started feeling terrible. Like I had so much cramping, which they said was normal. And my body was so, like, I had like hot flashes and stuff. Like I had the flu, and like my body like just like hurt like I was getting the flu. But when I woke up the next day, I was fine. I had a little bit of bloating like the next day, which was like uncomfortable. Like bloating is just never like fun at all, but it wasn't too bad. And then you have to wait 48 hours before any kind of activities or anything, and so then like definitely after the first like 24 to like 36 hours, I would say I was completely fine. And then just that extra 12 hours with the full 48, it was nice, and it was just like I was back to normal. Like I felt like normal again. I just hate anything to do with like cramps, or like when your ovaries like hurt a little bit, like any kind of like that stuff. Like I just want to be like snuggled in bed with a hoodie on, and like my dogs, and like comforters, and like watching movies. Like I'm just down for the count. Like I've always been like that. And luckily, since I don't really get a cycle every month, that doesn't happen to me too often. But when it does, it's just unbearable for me, like personally. But overall, it wasn't bad. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about the HSG. I feel like I worried a lot about it for nothing. I just always don't like the unknown. Like I always am super scared and fearful of the unknown, and it's something that I like try to work on. Like I try to be like fearless and like super confident and stuff, because that's how I used to be. But just, I don't know, just things, you know, when you get older get more complicated, or at least it seems like. And then I just like get way more worried and way stressed, and then I realize like it was no big deal. So that's pretty much that. It looks like I have a ton of bronzer on. I did my MAC Sculpt, where I normally like contour, but I just did it really lightly, and then I did my Dallas over it. Is it like too much or what? Like, I don't know, but I think I'm gonna start labeling my car ride-alongs with me as like a kind of like a title, like a snippet of what I'm actually gonna be talking about, so that way it's not just the date, because I like realize that maybe that's not as helpful, because like I'm just driving and talking, so you probably want to know at least a little bit of the topic, so that way you're not like, crap, I just watched that for nothing, or like, what the heck is she talking about? Like, I have no idea what she's talking about. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I am very excited to go home. I normally am down for the count on Wednesdays, because I have to wake up at 3 o'clock because I have to be at work at 4:30, and then I work like normally 7.5 to 8 hours. And even though I try to eat and drink like during my whole shift, before and after, I still always feel absolutely horrible on like Wednesday nights. Like I feel bad for my husband. He just knows like, oh, it's Wednesday at 4, you know, I'm getting off work. Like, well, Sarah's done. Like, she's already snuggled in bed with the dogs and is like ready to go to sleep, which is like definitely the sad truth. But it's hard. Like, Wednesdays are hard at work, so it's just how it is. But I think that's really all I have to talk about with you guys. Sorry about the sunglasses, but I'm driving home and it's sunny, so I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this kind of like car ridey vlog like series that I'm doing. I really like it. It just gives me a chance to talk about things that maybe I don't want to like whip out like the whole like filming like setup for. And like I've said a couple times, like in the car is when I like think a lot about this kind of stuff, so I'm happy that I can like share it with you guys. But all right, again, that's enough. I'll see you guys later. Bye.